Hi, lovely. Yay, summer. Yay, summer. This morning I was thinking about cognitive distortions. This is something we talk about, especially in cognitive behavioral therapy. Cognitive distortions are patterns of thinking that don't serve you, don't serve us. They're very human. Sometimes we fall into ways of thinking that don't serve us, that make us feel really bad about ourselves. And the one I've been thinking about today is called black and white thinking, or all or nothing thinking. It's thinking things are completely this way, or they're completely that way. I'm a complete success or I'm a complete failure. That politician is completely bad or completely good. And of course, we live in a world of nuance. Over the past week, I've been thinking about how the world has really trained us to believe in black and white thinking via black and white living. When I started to notice this when my son was little, because he's a very sporty boy or man now, but he loved sports, and so got him involved. He loved this sport, that sport, but the sports were so different. I did sports when I was a kid too in school, and I did track, and that was for a little while, and then you went on to something else. And I did cheerleading, and that was for a little while, and then I did something else, and I did gymnastics. That was for a little while. I was involved in so many clubs because I could be, because it wasn't a meeting every day kind of a thing for many hours and then going home and having 4 hours of homework morning. But that's the way the world has become. This was the case with my son. He wanted to do, let's say, soccer. And then that practice was all the time and across town, not where he could get to it himself. And it was a lot of money. So parents, this is what I see parents struggling with today, is they may have 2 or 3 kids, and the requirements for any kind of getting involved is many, many hours every day, and then coming home and doing many, many hours of homework. It's training us as children and as parents, as adults, that the world is black and white. You have to give all or you're failing. And this is just wrong. It is wrong. This shows up in people's careers now, especially post-COVID. You feel like you're working all the time. And so we've been conditioned to believe in this way. And I would love to maybe invite everybody to recognize the comfort that's in that for us. The comfort in black and white thinking is you don't have to deal with uncertainty. You don't deal with the gray. You don't deal with the nuance. You don't have to have discernment of what could be part of this that I'm not seeing. What could be something that may be harder to pin down as the best way or the not best way. And that takes practice, and that takes, for many people that deal with, let's say, anxiety, OCD, depression, it can be hard to live in a world of uncertainty and discernment. It's easier to just be like, I suck, I'm failing. There's security in that. This is the way diets have become 2 ways of eating. we've become very polarized. The world has, all of us have, like, this is the best way to eat. Sure, we all have our opinions, and I do, personally think real food is always the way to go. But even in the vegan world, which I am vegan, I do believe that is healthy for people. I'm not going to judge anybody for the way they're eating. But even within that, like, I consider myself high raw, meaning I eat a lot of raw foods, but I do eat some cooked foods too. But I can't say, I have to live in that kind of uncertainty of, I don't quite know what is best. Oops, sorry. I just have to kind of make that decision for myself. And not move into the black and white thinking or all or nothing thinking. Because once we do that, when we move into black and white, that invites judgment. Judgment of myself, judgment of the world. And whatever we judge becomes a resistance within us. I've been exploring the Kabbalion, which is the Hermetic principles. The first principle in Hermeticism is the universe is mental, which means it runs on our thoughts. What we see is a product of our thoughts and our emotions, how we respond to things. This is quantum physics, that nothing exists unless we observe it. So, if you're judging yourself, others, you are mentally charging thoughts and emotions that are going to draw them near you. So the key to that is just becoming an observer and allowing, being more in flow, being more in uncertainty. Even in the spiritual world, there is not certainty, of course. But the phrase we are human beings having a spiritual having a spiritual experience, that really nails it, doesn't it? We're not all or nothing. We are many things. We do many things. Maybe the present moment is spirit. Because the present moment, if we can inhabit the present moment without judging, without black and white thinking, without resisting, that's peace. That is the still small voice. That is God. That is your higher self. That is having thoughts that are going to draw in different experiences that are more loving, grounded, peaceful, that are more you as the spiritual being. But your human experience will benefit too. So I'm curious what you think about this. Where does black and white thinking show up in your life? Where do you resist? What are you drawing more of into your life? That maybe if you hung out with the uncertainty, in the non-judgment, in the peace of just allowing and floating above thoughts, doing maybe less less being more. You don't have to do it all. You don't have to do nothing, but maybe you can do less. So sort of a mishmash of ideas, but it's been on my mind lately. Curious your thoughts. Nourish yourselves, lovelies, with love, light, and plants. Be well.